Please don't make my life difficult.
I would never do that to you.
Okay. I'm very uncomfortable right now.
I can arrest you tonight. Had any, I just say don't drive.
Hey, Glenda, you might step in another vehicle over if you pick her up on my unit room.
How much have you had?
3 or 4?
3 or 4?
Okay.
Yeah.
No one is above the law, not even the people occupying positions of authority in the government. But what happens when police officers have to arrest their bosses? Will they remain true and stand by the principles they've sworn to uphold? Or will they let their bosses off the hook? In today's video, we'll be taking a look at some cases when cops are faced with the choice of arresting their bosses. We'll begin with the case of Corporal Scott Bertzik, a police officer who had to face the cops after crashing his car while drunk.
Down for my lighter, slammed into his ass.
Cool.
Yeah, not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Oh yeah, no, I'm good.
Your car's fucked up.
No, absolutely. Which I just fucking fixed.
From this conversation, it's clear to see that both cops are familiar with each other, and it's curious how Scott holds nothing back when describing the incident that had happened. It's obvious Scott caused the crash, so before going any further, Brooke, the cop interrogating Scott, decided to call back to the base and confirm if her handling the case was okay.
This crash, Birdie, so come work it? Okay. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've worked a crash with one of us in it, so... No, he's not on duty. He's in his POV. I just didn't want there to be any, conflict of interest type issues. Alright, that was it. I just wanted to make sure. Alright, bye.
Brooke was granted permission to handle the case, but she would discover something that made the case far more complicated.
You good?
Wait.
Huh?
Wait on his way.
He's not coming. So, Birdie, you giving me some indicators?
Oh,
Listen.
get the woman.
Listen. Valdez is coming out just to... I'm not gonna lie to you about it.
She's on her way?
Yeah, she's on her way. I'm not really comfortable with this whole thing at all, but I'm not gonna lie to you about it.
Oh no, I don't mean to put you in that Indy. Yep.
From now on, you know how it goes. You can't consume anything, okay? Because right now you're being detained.
Wait, what?
It's quite easy to see that Scott is under the influence of something, judging by his slight loss of motor control, his slurred speech, and his slow reactions. Once Brooke suspected that Scott was drunk, the situation changed, as she could no longer treat him as her supervisor, but as a suspect in a case. And what makes it even worse is the fact that Scott is drunk and unpredictable, a combination which can be threatening to a female officer.
Please don't make my life difficult.
I would never do that to you.
Okay. I'm very uncomfortable right now.
And I apologize for putting you in that position. Are you on?
Yes, I am. And I'm going to remain on for integrity. You know you can't smoke right now.
What?
Because if I'm going to do a DUI investigation, it impedes it, so you can't consume anything. I want to get that dog. This is a really cute dog.
Fear aggression issue.
You can always train a dog. You can't consume anything. You're killing me.
I'm trying.
But too late now!
After a short wait, Brooke and Scott are joined by another officer, and this means they can finally administer some sobriety tests and get to the bottom of the entire issue. The entire test took about 10 minutes, but judging from only a few seconds of the footage,
You may begin the test.
1, 2, 3.
it's easy to guess how the test went. After combining the outcome of the tests with the evidence against Scott, it was safe for the officers to come to the conclusion that he had been drinking that night, and they decided to put him in cuffs before going any further. Scott was not too pleased with this decision.
There's things that we can do to fix this, but
It's got the hinge locks.
okay. So, good to go?
If you're enjoying the video so far, then be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our amazing videos. Scott was one of the most respectful and polite suspects we've reviewed on this channel, and he received a better sentence than the majority of criminal cops. Scott was charged with driving under the influence and damaging property. He was ordered to pay just under $1,000 in fines, serve 50 hours in community service, and take multiple classes in substance abuse and DUI. His license was also suspended for 6 months. Scott was also sued by the driver of the vehicle he hit, and they both had an undisclosed cash settlement. On top of all that, Scott was suspended without pay for a week and was given a last chance agreement, meaning one more slip-up and he would be kicked out for good. The way this case turned out is a good example of how cases like this should be handled. But when New Mexico police faced a similar scenario, they painted a glaring picture of just how corrupt America's cops can be. This cop pulled over a speeding driver who he suspected had been drinking. However, when he walked to the window and looked into the vehicle, he was shocked and disappointed at who he saw behind the wheel.
Hello.
Jesus.
The reason I pulled you over because you were kind of swerving back there. You're good?
The driver of the vehicle was the city's mayor, and this was the third time she's been pulled over for this kind of offense. What made matters even worse was that she had her foster child in the car with as she drove recklessly.
You have your registration and your insurance, please? You okay, bud?
Yeah,
Yeah?
we're all good. Just be quiet.
This situation places the cops in an awkward situation, and they discussed among themselves to determine how they were going to handle the case. In the end, they decide to do their jobs and treat the mayor just as they would any other person who violated traffic.
Hey, Glenda, you mind stepping out of the vehicle where we go over if you pick her up on my unit real quick?
Yep.
How much have you had?
3 or 4?
3 or 4? Okay.
Yeah.
The officers ask Glenda to step out of the car, and as she does, they notice the smell of alcohol coming from her. She quickly admitted to having 3 or 4 drinks, but her slow movement and slurred speech implies that she had definitely surpassed the legal limit to drive. This is the third time the mayor had been pulled over for driving while drunk. Would she be punished this time? This officer thinks there's a chance.
Please, let me just get him home.
Get who?
Ethan,
You know I'm the type of cop who doesn't give breaks, okay?
you're the type of cop that what?
That doesn't give breaks. When I approached the vehicle, I did notice an odor of alcohol coming from alcohol coming from inside the vehicle. When I observed you walk out, you were kind of swerving all over the place, okay? And then right now, you're just, as you're standing, you're kind of swaying side to side. Thing is, you're the mayor, okay? I'm your employee.
It doesn't matter.
I'm your employee. And now that you're standing downwind, I can smell it. Okay?
Well, I'm not denying it.
Yeah, we could smell it on you, and the way you got out of your vehicle, Glenda, it's not good.
The officer rightly pointed out that Glenda's their boss, and there's obviously a conflict of interest, so they call in the New Mexico police to handle it from here. The outcome of this handover, however, would leave the original cops with the realization that they probably could have done a better job themselves.
4, 5, 6.
Doesn't matter. Your choice. So you're right there at that point. I don't think you're quite over the limit off of the clues that I saw, but I think you're right close to it. Where the limit might be 0.08, I think you're about a 0.06.
My house is literally right around the corner.
I'm not going to arrest you tonight, okay? But if you've had any, I just say don't drive.
Despite all the clues pointing to the contrary, the state cops somehow decided that she wasn't over the legal limit when they arrived, and therefore she was free to drive. Now, an argument can be made that there's corruption involved, given that she's the mayor, but let's examine this officer's words and take them as facts. For now. The officer says he thinks Glenda's blood alcohol level is around 0.06 right now. However, given the fact that this was about an hour after the initial stop was made, and that blood alcohol levels drop at about 0.015 an hour, Glenda's blood alcohol level at the time she was pulled over would have been dangerously close to the limit of 0.08 stated by the officer. But why did the cops not just use a breathalyzer to accurately determine Glenda's blood alcohol level? Well, the answer to that lies in the Fourth Amendment. Cops have to provide probable cause that a driver is impaired before they are allowed to collect chemical evidence that proves this. This is the reason why sobriety tests are performed. These two factors are the reason Glenda was allowed to return home that night instead of going to jail, why it's her third time being pulled over for this, and why this probably won't be her last. What do you think about these cases? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.